Whoever is teaching you time management, they're teaching you a freaking scam. I want you to think about this. Why are you in business in the first place? It's two reasons. One, increase your financial wealth, like increase the amount of money you have in your world. And number two is increase your freedom, your lifestyle, the way you live. That's what drives you to get to this point. But somewhere along the way, here's where I notice most people get stuck, and it's right around that $250,000 to $500,000 a year revenue. It's where they feel like they just can't have freedom. And in fact, the number one indicator that I know they're stuck is they've got a lot of anxiety. Have you ever had anxiety? That's where most of my clients get stuck before they hire me and join my mentorship programs. But I want to focus on this topic of why time management is a scam. And I want you to consider this. What if you could get way more done in less time? What if you could double your income in the next 12 months with less sacrifice, less anxiety, and less work? And the truth is you can. Once you understand this concept that time management is a scam. When I discovered that time management was a scam, I shifted to where I could make this happen with way more joy, excitement. In fact, today I work because I choose to, not because I have to. 6 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, and 3 hours on Friday. I choose to work those hours because I really love and I'm passionate about what I'm doing with my academy right now and my mission to take business operators to become business owners. So follow along with me. Here's the first concept I want you to really understand. Now, I'm going to ask you the question. I already gave you the answer on my screen here. What does time equal? Drop it around if this is on like a reel or something. Drop it in the chat box. What does time equal? And I will tell you, 99% of the time, the three answers that I get are number one, it's freedom. I hear freedom all the time. Time equals freedom. Number two is time equals money. I hear time equals money all the time. And then the third I hear is time equals opportunity. And now those sound like great Instagram posts that are motivation, but it's just not true. The truth is time equals emotion. Energy in motion. Think about that. The only moment you or I am guaranteed is this moment. And in this moment is when I experience emotion. If I go back in time, I can't experience emotion from 5 days ago or 5 years ago. If I go forward in time, I can't experience emotion in 5 days or even 5 years from now, but I can experience it right now based on my perception of the past or the future. And typically, why my high achievers experience so much anxiety is because they've got to a level in their career where they have a sense of control and they came from a place they never want to fucking go back to. And so their fear becomes that I end up worse off in the future than I currently am or who I am. So anxiety is a future predicting fear that will unfold in the change of uncertainty. Whereas a lot of maybe not so much higher producers, but lower producers experience depression. Depression is where we resist change. We're holding on to the past. Now, what if time didn't equal anxiety? Because here's what anxiety does for top producers, the people that are at least $250,000 to $500,000 a year, really specifically, is they actually work more, they work harder, they work faster. And I'm giving round figures at 250 to $500,000. You could be experiencing this even if you're at six figures, because your fear is going back to where you were. Now, this anxiety becomes a nagging thing, and it comes out in a couple different ways. One is full-on panic attacks. Have you ever had a full-on panic attack? I know I have. At my peak part as being a real estate agent, making out $600,000 a year, I had a full-on panic attack during a haircut. I literally thought I was going to die. Now, it didn't help the fact that I was high on marijuana at the time, and I'm not recommending that you even get into that space in life. That means you're in a bad spot when you're trying to console yourself with that much anxiety. Now, I thought I was literally going to die. It turns out it was a panic attack, and that's one way it will manifest in your life. But the way it also manifests is through alcohol, through other drugs, through spending money, or through social media. But the way it really, really attacks you with anxiety is your busyness. Your busyness to go work harder. Because your limiting belief is that if I go outproduce more results, I won't have any more problems. And the biggest problem that we have as business operators that keep us from going to become a business owner is this belief that I can actually have a life without problems. It's just not true. It's impossible. So when we look at time equals emotion, we have to begin to understand, well, if time management, like I said, is a scam, what is not the scam? What is the way that to answer those questions I presented to you? What if you could double your income in the next 12 months with less anxiety, less sacrifice, and even less work? What would that feel like? We have to understand what takes us there. So as we look at that, this is the thing I want you to highly, highly consider. 2 times, double your income right here, next 12 months, less sacrifice, less anxiety, less work. But how? I'm going to teach you right now, because 80% to do this is psychological emotional. What takes you from being a business operator where you're working 29 hours a day, 8 days a week, to becoming free in your business, becoming a real business owner where you work because you choose to, not because you have to. I'm talking 7 figures and beyond, multiple 7 figures. But if you step out, the business keeps making money. Well, we have to look at what I call the daily freedom routines. So I'm going to go through a few areas here. Now, many people, because this is very famous, have heard of a morning routine. And a very famous book, which I highly recommend, is called Miracle Morning. I didn't learn it from here, but I know it's a great resource that you can turn to have an even better morning routine. But a morning routine is only one of 3 of the most important daily freedom routines. Number 2 is your daytime routine. And then number 3 is your evening routine. But if you want to be able to actually use these routines to create what you believe time really equals, whether it's opportunity or money, or ultimately, a lot of people say freedom. If you want to do that and double your income in the next 12 months with less sacrifice and anxiety and less work, you'll understand that these parts of your day equal emotional outcomes. So for example, your morning routine. What is the emotional outcome that a business owner creates? Business owner creates clarity and direction. That is the purpose of their morning. They want a sense of peace and calm. And I'm going to teach you why here in a second. But they want to know the direction they're going. What does a business operator do in the morning? They have a sense of rush, a sense of chaos, a sense of I've got to go extinguish fires and all these problems in my life. And they create a giant freaking to-do list, and they start working on their to-do list. And then they start going and going and going, and they spend their whole day reacting. And then they get to the end of the day, and their reactions didn't get their to-do list done because they were reacting to everything. And then they're writing offers at 10 o'clock at night, or they're trying to do closes at 10 o'clock at night, or they're sending off emails or text messages or whatever. And what they're doing is actually stealing their presence with themselves, first and foremost, and that self-connection, that self-love. But they're then stealing from the people that they love the most, which is their family, their children, their spouse, the people that really mean something to them. The whole reason why people got into business was to improve their finances and their lifestyle. Specifically, a lot of people that follow me, it's because they have a family value and they're family oriented. But yet then they go home at night and they rob from their family that they say they're doing it all for. And I see this time and time again, where people are ending up divorced 2, 3, 4 times. Even of those that are in a relationship with their woman or their man, it's an average at best. They don't have that safety and that connection there. So if you really dial in these routines, you'll be able to actually get more done in less time, double your income, less anxiety, and less work, and less sacrifice along the way. Because think about that. To double your income, what if you had to sacrifice less? Meaning you didn't have to give up all of the beautiful things that you really, really want in your life. To do it, the money keeps coming in. The second part is your day routine, but what is the emotional outcome that a top producer business owner is after? Top producer business owner is absolute fucking certainty. We're putting money in the fucking bank account. That's the first one. The second is they want to do it with a sense of enthusiasm and playfulness. They want to do it as a figure of authority. And so if we look at our mornings about clarity and direction, our days about figure of authority and certainty and enthusiasm, what is our evening all about? Well, for me, it's a sense of connection. It's a sense of relaxation, a sense of achievement, a sense of togetherness with the people that are most important. So if we look at these routines and these are the outcomes, the question becomes, what are the rituals that allow me to create them? For example, in the morning, my ritual is breath and meditation and stretching every single fucking day, because that's what creates the permanence. Write this down. Practice makes permanent. It doesn't make perfect. And so what you want even more of in your life, let's say it's clarity and direction, then you got to practice what gives you clarity and direction. But why is clarity and direction important? When you are clear and when you know a sense of direction and this sense of okayness, you actually make better decisions. True or true? But when you wake up and you follow a morning routine with rituals that are about reacting to text messages and phone calls and social and emails and rushing out the door with your kids and not taking that space to get clear and have direction and decisiveness, you actually make poor decisions, less quality decisions. And the quality of our life is directly proportionate to the quality of decisions that we choose to make. And then we look at our day. Well, what are those rituals that are absolute fucking certainties? Put money in the bank. And I will tell you this, I've been in business 17 years now. I grew a successful real estate business, real estate brokerage. I have a 7-figure real estate company now across America. I have a 7-figure real estate academy, and I have a real estate sales division, part of that as well. And I consult with people in their business to scale their multiple 7 figures. And the number one activity, ritual for me through the day that drives this business and drives my financial success, it's a 4-step sales process. And it really boils down to one key step in that 4 steps. It's 30, write this down, 30 meaningful conversations a day. Every single day, my objective is to have 30 meaningful conversations a day, add so much fucking value to people's lives. When they come to me, I monetize them. So right now, as I add value to your life, sooner or later, you're gonna end up on one of my free webinars, which by the way, is happening next week. And it's how to become recession-proof in the shifting market. A great webinar, so let me know if you wanna attend. And in these webinars, I add more value, then sooner or later you move to the next step, which is an appointment with someone on my team, which is a sales advisor. And then from there, we give you a presentation and then we monetize you one of the vehicles. Either A, I hire you, B, I mentor you, or C, I partner with you in business. Like I met today with a 7-figure business and I'm looking at a partnership with them to consult them and take them to multiple 7 figures. So as you do this, the key indicator in that, no matter what level you are in business, is you must have 30 meaningful conversations a day. That's a ritual. And then in your evening, if it's to have connection and relaxation, a sense of achievement, you got to have those rituals that drive that into your life, okay? But I want to talk to you about the 2 most important rituals that business owners do. Because if your goal is to go from a business operator, which business operators, they get tired and worn out and exhausted. Business owners, they get rich and fulfilled. I want you to think about that. You want to be a business operator that's tired and exhausted, which I see so many of them in business today, especially in the real estate space, since that's my niche. But in all types of business, I see it. And I see very few real business owners that are full of energy, that are full of direction, but they work because they choose to, not because they have to. They've got the 7 figures, the multiple 7 figures, and the business goes without them. What if that was where you were at? Well, these are the 2 rituals that if that's where you want to go, this is what they do. The first is what's called a smart day. In other words, a smart day is a simple 30-minute CEO meeting with your life. And when you look at this, it's about being the CEO of your fucking life, not the CEO of a business. Now that is a part of it because your business is part of your life. Your relationship with your woman or your man is part of your life. Your health is part of your life. Your happiness is part of your life. So you got to be the CEO of your life. And what is a CEO? It's a visionary that evangelizes this vision over and over again. So who must you evangelize to? Yourself. Smart Day is a meeting to evangelize yourself, and here's the entire objective for it. What is my vision for the next 24 hours? What are my outcomes for the next 24 hours? And you have a 30-minute meeting with yourself. I teach it real clear in my mentorship program and with my business partners, because once I get them doing this, I can easily get them to turn up the volume on their revenue stream. But the second, this is where business operators suck. And even my top clients struggle with this. Write it down. It's what's called a smart week. One of the most famous books of all time is Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. And there's a secret in that book. I talk about it all the time because I love it. Once I discovered this secret, it changed my life. What I realized the real secret in Think and Grow Rich was not going to lead me to riches, but lead me to create whatever the frick I wanted in this life between now and when I die. And that's where anxiety comes from, is people are afraid of the future and creating life on their own terms, that it won't go to the way they plan and they'll lose their sense of control. Isn't that funny? You want more freedom, but you still have all this try to control everything. We have to stop trying to control everything. We have to stop controlling everything, and we have to allow flow. And one of the ways we do that is through the Smart Week, because in Napoleon's book, the first part is actually in the title of The Secret. It's think. So a Smart Week is all about a think time. Imagine that. Space in your day and your week just to allow you to think with zero judgment, to ask yourself questions. Just like decisions dictate the quality of our life, the quality of our questions affect the quality of our decisions. So a Smart Week and a think time is the space in which we create quality questions to create quality decisions. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. The Smart Week is the space in which we think to ask ourselves quality questions in order to make quality decisions. But that's only the first half, is thinking, in Napoleon's book, Think and Grow Rich. The second part is, write this down, trust your hunch. Yes, trust your hunch. Now, if you're following your daily routines like most people, which is chaotic, reactive, always trying to put out fires, and busy mode all the time with that sense of anxiety, well, you have less quality questions going on, which allow you to have less quality decisions, which allow you to have less quality emotional outcomes. So if you're able to shift that with these two simple rituals, it will allow you to trust the hunch. And when you trust the hunch, it doesn't always make logical sense, but when you act on it, that's where shit happens. That's where the opportunity that's just off the radar manifests in 3D. Now, if your objective is to create financial freedom, where your leverage residual income pays for your desired lifestyle, or business freedom, where you work because you choose to, not because you have to, or even soul freedom, where you actually find the beauty in every fucking moment, no matter what, and you're more grateful that you can feel, rather than the fact that you're complaining because you're stressed or have anxiety or you're afraid. Like, if you can move that space, then you can trust your hunch and you become soul freedom. There's business freedom, financial freedom, and soul freedom. So look, take what I talked about today, your smart day and your smart week. Smart day is 30 minutes a day. Smart week is 90 minutes a week. And if you're really about that $750 or $1 million or more producer, you're probably doing 2 or 3 smart weeks a week. And if you apply this, I promise you, you will double your income in the next 12 months with less anxiety, less sacrifice, and less actual work. It's like the most amazing thing because it doesn't make logical sense. It's quantum. Now, I want you to think about what quantum would do to your life if this actually happened. Look, I appreciate you being here. One of my invitations to you is get on one of my next webinars. I have one coming up soon. The next one I'm currently doing based on this recording is how to become recession-proof in the shifting market. Because we know that interest rates are going up, home values are high, inflation is through the roof. We know that there's supply chain issues. We know there's a recession coming. But where and how will it affect you? Guaranteed it's coming at you, but how will it affect you? And I want to teach you so not only you become recession-proof, but you could even consider to double your income or your net worth during this recession. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it? And that's coming up here soon. But also, if you want to learn more about how to work in my company, or if you want mentored by me, like I get asked all the time about mentor, if you want to learn about what those programs look like or how you can have more proximity to me, or even if you want to consider a partnership, like you want me to consult with your company and that consult for equity type deal, totally open to look at that. And one of my favorite ways is right now I'm partnering with people in real brokerage. We're making such huge headway with that. I've got about 800 partners right now in North America. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. So appreciate you being here today. I look forward to seeing you here on my next webinar, and we'll talk to you soon.